Hey y'all, good morning. It is Wednesday, and you guys know that Wednesday I'm here with a series called Build Better. Every Wednesday at 8:30. I'm typically not live on any of our church's social media. However, this morning, Holy Spirit told me to get on. So I feel like this must be a conversation that everybody needs. Although a lot of times Build Better is directed towards entrepreneurs, ministry leaders. However, Build Better is not just for entrepreneurs and ministry leaders and businesses. Build Better is for anybody that wants to build better. So if you're listening to what I'm saying, you'll understand that the principles that I'm teaching are not just for people that want to build in business, but if you want to build in life. What I believe is that how we do one thing is how we do all things, right? How you lead your life at home is the direct reflection of how you're going to lead your life at work, business, leadership, whatever it is. So when I talk about Build Better, and every Wednesday I'm here at 8:30 talking about ways that how we can be better at what we are building. And so a lot of times we measure our level of success based off other people, what we see other people doing, the directions of other people, and not being able to properly, good morning, not being able to properly um be able to measure what does success look like for us, right? So today I'm here with the topic that is good morning. This I'm going to talk about what are you avoiding, right? What are you avoiding? What are you avoiding? And so what do I mean by that, right? So a lot of us talk about procrastination, and so I know that there are a lot of people say, listen, I struggle with procrastination. And that's like, I know I need to do something, but I'm watching TV. I'm sitting down, I'm delaying the thing that I need to do. But today I want to talk about something that's a little bit different. And this is what we call productive avoidance. Okay. What is productive avoidance? So you may be like getting things done, and it really am actually working, but you're actually not doing the thing that you're supposed to be doing for whatever reason it may be, right? So you might be answering emails, organizing, researching, making graphics, working on a website, making another list, right? Helping somebody else, you're cleaning your house, you're in meetings, but at the end of the day, you are exhausted because you've been doing all of the things, but you're not doing the thing, right? And so what I have learned is that a lot of us, we talk about this thing called procrastination. We talk about I'm a procrastinator, right? But I think some of us are not even necessarily procrastinators because I think we know how to do the work. I think we're doing the wrong work. And then we have to dive deep and understand, but why am I doing the wrong work, right? And then what is the work that I'm supposed to be doing? All right. So think about something that you know that you need to handle, right? So what keeps it getting pushed to tomorrow? That's your question today. You know you need to do it, you know it needs to get done, but what is the reason why you've been pushing it for the next day, for the next moment, what we like to call the next season, right? We're in this moment where we talk about like my season, I'm not in that season right now, my season is up, or whatever the case may be. But sometimes we have to realize it's a word called or a statement called productive avoidance. I do everything but what I'm supposed to do. And a lot of times we really have to be able to recognize what is that rooted in. Okay. So let's talk. So um you have to ask yourself, why am I avoiding it? Right? Why haven't I done it yet? And so a lot of times it's the fear of failure, the fear of rejection, perfectionism, fear of confrontation, right? Lack of clarity, lack of skill, fear of success. Some of us are afraid that it will work. And it's crazy because a lot of times when I'm coaching people, I have this conversation with them about the fear of it working. Like, what if it really works out? What if I really do the thing that I said that I was going to do? I'll never forget, I was teaching a class one time and I said, one of the biggest hurdles that some of us have to navigate through is being better than our family, right? Doing something that your family never has done before, because sometimes we are afraid of being judged. We're afraid of being the goody two shoes. We're afraid of you think you all that. We're afraid of you think you're better than us. Like that same constant conversation, And so some of us have what we call what productive avoidance. Y'all drop it in the chat. We have productive avoidance because of the fact that we are afraid of what does it really look like to be successful. right? What if I really do the thing that I said I was going to do? What does that look like for me? And a lot of us, are like me. Now, some of y'all, y'all like of attention, right? But there's some of us like, man, like I really don't like I don't like attention. Like I don't like to be, people to be looking at me. I don't like, all of that, right? And so sometimes, we are afraid of the attention or the spotlight or what that would look like. So we say that we're procrastinating, but in actuality, it's called productive avoidance. All right. So the fear of success is one that we don't talk about enough, right? Sometimes you're not afraid that it will work, you're afraid that it will. Because if you launch and people buy, now you have to deliver. If you the business begins to grow, now you need systems. If you hire the person, now you have to lead. If you set the boundary, this is a big one, right? If you set the boundary, now you have to enforce it. Right. And that's one of the biggest things. Some of y'all know the people that you need to cut off, some of the people you need to let go, some things that you need to walk away from, right? But we are afraid of what does that look like if I actually set the boundary, if I actually say no, right? Some of us are afraid to say no. If that's you today, like listen, just say it's me. We're gonna be honest today. It's me. I'm afraid of saying no. I'm afraid of what that looks like if I tell somebody no. So I know what I need to do. However, I'm afraid to do it. Sometimes you're not avoiding the task, you're avoiding what completing the task will require from you next, right? So what am I actually afraid will happen if I finally do this? Right? That's the question that some of us ask us. Now, the thing I want to talk about is that we often talk about what does it cost us to do certain things. So if I follow through what I said I'm going to do, if I launch this business, right? If I pursue this relationship, if I, do X, Y, and Z, we always talk about what is the cost associated with what. Now, listen, I'm the coach, right? So even as a coach, I'm constantly asking people, count up the costs, right? What does it cost you to actually fulfill the thing that you said that you were going to do? But today I want to ask another question. I want to ask you, what does avoidance cost you? Right? What is avoidance costing you? What is not going after the thing that you know you need to do costing you? Some of you are sitting on businesses. You got crickets at home. You got the materials at home. You got the packing stuff at home, right? You got everything that you need to actually fulfill the thing that you need to do, but you don't do it. Today, I want to ask you, what is it costing you? Hey, sis, what is it costing you not doing the thing that you know you're called to do? See, these are the conversations that we need to have. You know why? Because I'm tired of us preaching and teaching and shouting and hollering. And we talk about what belongs to us and what the Lord wants us to have and, all of that greatness, right? But we don't talk about why aren't we doing the thing we're called to do? Why are you avoiding pursuing and going after? And this is the mindset that we really have to come up against, is the idea that God only operates through poverty. Whew. That God only operates through lack, right? That God only operates in those moments, and that you have to come through this big storm of having nothing. Right, that good morning. That the conversation we have to have is that God wants us to be wealthy. God wants us to have money, right? God wants us to be able to prosper. He says it in his word. Listen, you're the lender, not the borrower. You're the head, not the tail. But we constantly live beneath our means, right? Because of this thing called avoidance. See, I'm the pastor that I love you and I want you to come to the altar because I want to pray with you. I'm going to touch and agree with you. But when we get up from the altar, when I get done touching and agreeing with you, we got to have a conversation. Because why aren't you in the place that you say that you want to be in? What are the things that are holding you up? Is it the fear of failure, right? Is it the fear of success, right? Is it because you're not disciplined? Is it because every single time, you try to show up, your fear starts to be louder than your success? Come on. What is the reason why we aren't really seeing, like, because the one thing I know is that we don't lack ideas. God is constantly downloading ideas into us. God is constantly telling us what he wants us to do. God is constantly giving us the play. And so my question for you today is, you don't need another conference. You don't need another meeting. You don't need another coaching session. What you need today is to make a decision. Today, I decide that I'm no longer going to avoid the thing that I need to be doing, and I'm going to pursue and go after the thing I'm supposed to be going after. Because what I know is that we're not lacking in ideas. Come on. What I know is that I'm not even lacking the knowledge. But But what we are doing is we are avoiding, even in our healing, right? One thing I know is that so many of us don't want to. This is why I say build better is not just about entrepreneurship, because some of you cannot build better because you're not willing, and we talked about this last week. You're not even willing to release people that you need to release that have power over you so that you can build better. Some of you still got people in your life that have spoken things over your life. Some of you still are hearing that your third grade teacher in your ear that told you what you wasn't going to be, how you can't show up, how you can't make it without me. You're going to be just like your daddy. You're going to be just like your mama. You're going to end up in jail, right? We still have those thoughts in our mind. So every time we go into to go after and pursue something, we hear in our ear what we would never be able to do, how we won't be able to move. Who said we wouldn't make it, right? So I avoid going after it. You got the play, you got the money, but yet and still you avoid the pursuit. So today I came to ask you the question, what is avoidance costing you? Right? We spend a lot of time calculating what doing something will cost us. How much would this cost? How much will it take? Right? But the question is, you keep calculating the cost of doing it, but have you calculated the cost of not doing it? What does that mean if I don't pursue? What does this mean if I keep avoiding the thing I know I need to do? You got to ask yourself, do my kids depend on this? Right? I hear all the time about people say, listen, I just want to build. I want to build for my family. I want to build a future. I want to leave something in this earth, right? But leaving something in this earth means I can't keep avoiding the thing I'm supposed to do in this earth. The cost of money, right? What revenue has been delayed because you haven't launched? What opportunities have you missed because you haven't followed up? What are you paying for because you refuse to make a decision? Those are the questions I want to ask you. Because it's not when I'm coaching, believe it or not, it's not what is your business plan. All those things are great, right? What is your business plan? I know because most of you got one. Most of y'all have had a business plan for the last 5 to 10 years and you do nothing with it. You know what I'm saying? Like where do you see yourself going? Oh, you know where you're going. You know what the end result looks like. But there is a gap, right? And so, me as a coach, what I do is I come to help fill the gap. That's why I created this Build Better series because I said, God, like there is something missing. There is a gap between what you've told them to do and the execution. And oftentimes we blame that gap on money, we blame the gap on resources. We like, oh, nobody wants to support us, nobody, wants to help us. But can I be honest? The real gap is that you have avoidance. The real gap is that you haven't followed through. All right. Unfinished things consume your mental capacity, right? You've been working on this thing for 20 years, 10 years, 5 years, and it consumes you. You are exhausted. Some of you are not even physically exhausted, you are mentally exhausted, right? Unfinished things consume your mental capacity. You may not physically be working on it, but you're always thinking about it. And every time you see an email, every time and listen, I'm gonna get real, right? Have you ever ran into somebody and they're like, hey sis, hey bro, what you got going on? And they're constantly asking you about the thing that you said you were going to do. Hey, what's up with that book? Yo, what's up with that business? Hey, what's up with that relationship? Hey, you bought a house yet? Ooh, did you get that car yet? Did you start the thing? Remember we was talking a couple months ago and you told me like this is what you wanted to do and they're asking you. So every single time we don't do it, it costs us our energy, right? So every time somebody mentions it, every time you open up your planner, right? If you guys have been following me for a little while, guys, I talk about having a planner, but what's in your planner? And so We got all of these things that are taking up space in our planner. You have rewritten, write the book about 20 times in this planner. Call this person, ask this person. Avoidance. That's it. All right. It's still taking place. Then here's a big one, right? It's costing us our confidence. If you guys are watching us last week, I was talking about how when we do the thing that we say that we're going to do, right? When we actually follow through what we say, we build a level of confidence within ourselves. You know why? Because we actually tell ourselves what we're going to do, and then we follow through what we told ourselves that we were going to do. And so when we actually follow through with what we said, it builds a level of confidence. I want you to ask yourself today, what is something that you told yourself that you were going to do that you haven't done? Jaden, turn that down. What is something that you told yourself that you were going to do that you didn't do? And so what I taught you guys last week is that what happens when when you constantly tell yourself something you're going to do and you don't follow through with it, eventually, can I tell you what happens? You stop trusting yourself. I don't trust me. Anybody else to say, listen, I don't trust myself because I constantly say what I'm going to do and I don't do it. The cost of opportunity, right? What cannot happen because you haven't handled this? Some of you are like, I want to go back to school, but you haven't called, but you refuse to call the school that you were at, right? Because you're avoiding it. Because sometimes we're afraid of what they're going to say. You haven't filled out FAFSA because you're afraid of what they're going to say. You haven't filled out the application because you really have a deep-rooted fear of rejection. What if I don't get in? What if I don't do well? So I keep doing all of the other things that I really don't want to do. I keep working jobs I don't want to work at. I keep taking courses that I don't want to take instead of pursuing after the thing that I really want to do. Okay? So there's one thing I'm going to leave you with before I go, right? And it's the face it framework, okay? Real simple. It sounds like it's deep, but it's really not. That's it, sis. Leap. So the first thing is I want you to find it, right? Because one thing I'm not going to do is leave y'all. I'm not going to beat y'all up too much without giving you the play. Like, what do you need to do? So the first thing you have to do is you have to find it, right? What am I specifically avoiding, right? Not do I, because here's the thing too, sometimes you be like, oh, I just need to work on my business. But there's so many different aspects of business. What is the thing you need to do? Do you need to make a phone call? And do you need to write down who is it that I need to call? Do I need to go and fill out paperwork? What is the paperwork that you need to fill out? Right? One of the biggest avoidances, and I've been here before, which is why I can talk about it. One of the biggest avoidances is us being financially stable. And we're oftentimes afraid to look at our bank statements. We're afraid to look at our accounts. Like some of us, we real gangsta out here because, we will spend money and we never look at our accounts. We never look at our money. We never look at what's coming in, nor do we look at what's going out. We just out here thugging it. You know what I'm saying? Just trying to see what's going to happen. But see, avoiding it doesn't get you to financial stability. Come on. Avoiding it won't get you the house. Avoiding it won't get you the car. Avoiding it, can I help you? Will not get you even the financial freedom that you're looking for. Avoiding it, not looking at your finances, is actually more overwhelming than if you just look at your finances. Because looking at your finances helps you to really specifically know what you need. Some of y'all been overpaying on things and don't even know you're overpaying. Some of you guys have been paying on the same bill. Some of you don't even realize you can pay stuff off. Some of you don't realize even how much money you even make because of the fact that you avoid being able to look at it. But today I'm going to ask, what did I ask you? What is avoidance costing you? The question I get all the time from people is like, hey, listen, I want to buy a house. I'm like, okay, cool. Let's do it. Let's work. Right. Because the reality is that I coach all the things. This just blessed me. I've only been listening. Oh man, I'm so grateful. Thank you so much. But I remember people coming to me and say, listen, I want to buy a house. I said, okay, all right. But do you know what the house costs? right? Do you know how much money you make, right? Because here's the thing, once I know how much money I make, I know how much house I need to get, I can create a strategy and I can create a plan to do what? Build better. If you don't know, if you keep avoiding, if you keep not leaning into it, you're never going to build better. You're never going to have better. I don't know about you guys, but I want better. This is why I started this series. I want to build better and I want to teach you how to build better because I'm tired of us living in lack. Let me pause right here. I'm tired of us living in lack. I'm tired of us living beneath what we're supposed to have. I'm tired of us complaining about, hear me, about people gatekeeping and people who don't want to help us. But can I help y'all this morning? Some of you don't even want to help yourself. Because what have you done with the information you got the first time? Nothing. And these are the tight conversations that I like to have. I got to challenge us. I got to challenge your mindset to shift because we don't have a money problem. We don't have a people problem. We don't have a resource problem. We have a mindset problem. And I'm telling you right now, if you could ever get to the place where you shift your mindset, I'm telling you, you will be unstoppable. So we got to find it. Thank you so much, sis. You got to find it. What is the thing? Be very, very specific about what it is you need to do. I need to review my bank statements, right? I need to have the conversation. I need to submit the application, not just I need to go back to school. I need to go back to school and I need to submit my application are two totally different things, right? I need to send in my transcripts. I need to go get my transcripts, right? That becomes a different conversation than I need to go back to school. Because now I'm giving myself a specific task that's going to lead me to that. All right. Name it, right? Ask why. Why am I avoiding this? You got to, because if you can ever understand the why, then you can create boundaries. Um, you can create different things around it to help you to build better. So ask yourself, why have I been avoiding this, right? Is it fear? Is it confusion? Is it perfectionism? Is it lack of knowledge? Is it discomfort, right? Because once you know the why, you can determine what support do you need. When I know that it's fear, all right, I need accountability, right? I need affirmations. Those of you that are struggling with, am I good enough, right? I tell people do this exercise all the time. Is to give me what you're good at. Give me the things that people say about you. What are things that you've gone through, that you've been able to work through, that you've been able to accomplish? Right? When we get to this place about fear, I'm like, but think about all the things you've already been able to pursue and go through. Some of you have out of some messed up situations, right? Broken homes, poverty, rape, molestation, right? All these things that you've been able to navigate through. And then you finally get to the thing that you can actually pursue and you're afraid. No, don't be afraid. Think about all the things how far have you already come? You've already gone through what they told you that you would not do, what you would not be. The courage that you had to walk away from things that you never thought that you would be able to walk away from. So those of you that are struggling with confidence and like, am I good enough? Can I really do it? Ask yourself, what have I already done? What have I already been able to conquer and pursue and to navigate and get through? Some of you, I came to encourage you to let you know that you're already doing it. I've been talking to my leadership team at church. They're hilarious. I love them. And I've been talking to them, and we're in the middle of our leadership development on our way to ordination and elevation, right? And a lot of them, I can tell, just lack the confidence of a title, right? But I have to constantly remind them that they're already doing the work. And I came to pause and let somebody know is that sometimes we're looking for a title and maybe we're even looking for a sense of acknowledgement. But some of you are already doing it. Like you're already operating, you're already navigating, you're already winning, you know? And sometimes you can't see it because you're so far in it. And so that's why being able to write and being able to journal and being able to list out those things helps you to really be able to see, really, where am I? Right? Because sometimes we're avoiding because we feel like we're not good enough. But the reality is that, man, Sine, you already doing it. All right, let's move. Um, Calculate the cost. So, what has avoiding this cost me? What has avoiding this cost me? Is it time? Is it money? Is it energy? Is it peace? Is it opportunity? Is it confidence? All right. If it's just now coming in, the first one is find it. What am I specifically avoiding? The next one is ask why. Why am I avoiding this? Right. Number three, which is C, is calculate the cost. So what is avoiding this already costing me? Time, money, energy, peace, opportunity, confidence. All right. And then execute the move. Create an don't create another 15-step plan, right? So make the call, right? Send the email, schedule the meeting, look at your numbers, submit the form, follow up, ask for help, set the boundary, right? So I'm only asking you for one thing. I don't need 20 things, I don't need 15 things, but simply what is the one thing you're going to do? You don't have to finish everything today, but you do have to stop hiding from the next move. Simply. Some of you are hiding from the next thing that you need to do. Some of you don't even realize that the next break, the next relief, some of you are exhausted. I'm like, I'm exhausted. God, I'm just doing the same thing and just feel like I'm not producing. Well, some of us, it's the thing that you need to be doing is actually getting ready to lift the exhaustion off of you. Some of you are on here saying, listen, I'm financially strapped. I'm financially strained. He said, well, if you would just make the phone call, right? If you would just launch the business, if you would just put yourself out there, you don't even realize what is attached to your yes, what is attached to your willingness to go forward in the thing you know you need to do. Stop hiding behind the next move. So, what is the thing you've been avoiding? Why? Right? Why am I avoiding it? What is it costing me? And then what is your next move? That's my I listen. I come here every Wednesday. Y'all got a challenge. And that's your challenge today. Your challenge today is to do one thing. If you need to go to apply for school, do it today. If you need to go apply for FAFSA, do it today. If you need to do the research on for business, do it today. But whatever it is you need to do, do it. Why? Because we want to build better. I mean, aren't we tired of going through the same cycle over and over and over again? Where we are busy, but we're not productive, right? Because when we are productive, it produces a very specific result. Some of us, we can look over our life too, and we can just be like, you know what? I am doing a lot of things, right? I'm doing a lot. Man, I mean, when I say some of us, we like, I didn't did a lot today. But even in doing a lot, is it producing anything? That's the question. I was teaching the other week and I was talking about Jonah, right? And y'all know, or if you don't, I'll tell you like the story of Jonah, is when y'all seen the cartoon kind of version of like him being swallowed up in a whale in a fish, if you've seen the story. But Jonah is a man that was in the Bible and he was a prophet, and God told him to go to Nineveh, right? And he decides that he's going to go to Tarshish instead of going to Nineveh because he feels like the people over there don't necessarily deserve God's grace and mercy, right? Tired of the same cycle over and over again. And the thing I want us to understand about Jonah was he was avoiding the thing that he needed to do. And so what happened was he goes to Tarshish and he gets on this boat, y'all. And he's on this boat. And as he's on the boat, a storm comes. And so I just want to let you know, like sometimes storms and things are going to happen until we actually do what we're supposed to be doing. Okay. Like until you really stop avoiding what you really need to be doing, you're gonna keep finding because see, some of y'all keep asking yourself, why am I in this same place? Right? Here's the thing: you know you're gifted, you know you're talented, you know you got it. Why am I still in this same place? Well, the answer to that question today is you're still in that same place because of the thing that you keep avoiding. That's actually productive. That's actually going to bring the result that you need. It's not the fact that we can't make the money. It's the fact that you avoid doing the thing that's going to bring you the money that you need. So what are you avoiding? Ask yourself that question today. Some of you may feel bold. I'm gonna drop it in the chat. But I'm tired. Listen, this is why I love this series. I love what I do, right? Is because I want us to build better. Get out of the cycles. Doing the same thing over and over and over and over again. They say that's insanity, right? Doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. It's some things you really need to do, and you didn't went and some of y'all you go and you do things that don't even make no sense. You wasting your time, wasting your energy. And then you get home at night and you're laying in your bed and you're like, dang, this ain't the life I wanted for myself. This ain't the life I want. This not that some of us can be honest and say, this is not even the life I deserve. I deserve to live better than what I'm living. Well, what is it that you got to do to live better? Some of us, we even look at what, not that we compare people, but some of us, we're looking at other people in certain lanes and they're dominating those lanes. But you got to ask yourself the question, is it them? Is it the opportunity or is it me? Because there's a lot of us that have had plenty of opportunities, but you don't follow through. And so sometimes it's deeper, like, why am I not? What am I afraid of? Right? I'm gonna ask you this morning, like, what are you afraid of? What is keeping you from saying yes to what you need to do? So today, listen, we breaking these cycles. We coming out of these cycles of delay, right? For me, it's like every time we see, people in the church that got money, it's crazy to me how we just automatically assume that, oh, they just taking the church's money, right? But the reality is that God calls us to live like that. And I don't know why I'm here, and I don't know why people are afraid to talk like about money, right? It takes money to do all the things, right? But God wants us to have money. He doesn't want money to control us, but it takes money and resources for us to do the thing that we need to do. God just doesn't move in poor people in poverty and people that don't have. He needs people that have the means to be able to lift those people up. And we're supposed to be those people. I see some of y'all this morning. It's so crazy because it's almost like I can see some of you and literally I can like picture you landing in the bed. And what you're saying is that my life wasn't supposed to be like this. This is literally what I see. Like it's almost like you're laying in it's like you are laying in the bed and you are replaying your life. What you do every day, every day. And it's almost like, you know, you're like, my life wasn't supposed to be like this. Like it wasn't supposed to look like this. It wasn't supposed to be like this. You do the same thing over and over again. You wake up, you do this, you do this, you do this, and that's it. We're busy but not productive. Busy doing a lot of things, but is it really getting us to the thing? And for many of us, it takes us setting boundaries and saying no, which is tough for some of us. I was talking, right? We are defeated in our minds. That's why I said half of what I coach, half of our battle, y'all, is mindset. That's it. I'm telling you, when this is why when I coach people, I tell them like we get to the plans, but oftentimes it's the mindset. That's it, which reflects the physical. What I say, the story that we tell ourselves begins to be a belief. And what you believe about yourself begins to be the actions that you take. If you really believe that your life is not going to be nothing, guess what? You don't take steps for a better life because you believe this is all it is to your life. I know my assignment. My assignment is to pull people out of stuck places, right? And so I've come to understand that many of us sit in this mindset that I ain't never going to be past where I am. But see, I'm going to challenge that mindset. I was talking to a young guy yesterday, and he was talking about how, he was struggling in some areas. And he was saying how, people are always asking him for money. And he was like, just talking about some things he was going through. And I said, well, here's the thing. You can't help people beyond where you are. We will oftentimes take, and here's the thing, it's not even always money. A lot of times it's time. Some of us that have to ask ourselves, and I'm getting ready to go, how many times we have stopped building what we were building to go help somebody else build. And then you look up 5 years later and you're like, why isn't what I prayed for here? Some of y'all mad with God. Some of y'all angry with God. Some of y'all got alts with God because you're like, God, why isn't my life a certain type of way? Right? But my question to you is, what are you avoiding? What haven't you done? What things are taking up space in your life? What have you been afraid to say no to? People that you have to say no to. I don't have it. I don't have the money, right? I don't have the time. Avoidance. You know you're supposed to have been cut them off. Let them go. But I'm afraid of what boundaries are going to look like. What will my relationship be like with my mom? What will my relationship be like with my dad? What will my relationship be like with my siblings, my cousins, my friends? If I actually set the boundaries. Every month you need $300 for your light bill. Every month you need $500 for me to help you with something. Every month you need $100. And that $100 I keep taking from my house to kind of help you, but that $100 is something that I really need that's going to help me. So you're not a good steward over your money, but then you come to me and I'm supposed to like make ways out of no ways, right? Yeah. So I'm afraid to say no, I don't have it. I'm afraid to tell, one of the biggest challenges I've been noticing lately in my coaching is, parents that have like older kids and they're afraid to tell their kids no. But that avoidance is costing you. Not only is it costing you, it's costing them. Because the reality is that when we constantly give people just like the money without the knowledge, or the money without giving them the help that they need, they keep coming back. If they didn't steward the money well and you give them the money, they're gonna continue not to steward it well. So the question today is, what are you avoiding? We want to build better, we want to be better. And because we want to build better, we want to be better, we have to do what is going to produce, right? Today, our word was productive avoidance, where I'm being productive because I'm getting some things done. But am I doing the right thing? Am I doing the thing I really need to be doing? That's actually going to give me the results that I need in my life. Okay. So listen, that's all I got for you today. Like I said, I normally don't really go live in the church page, but I felt led to go there today, because I feel like it's some of us that are struggling with this avoidance thing, and some of us that are struggling with what we're building. So again, I'm here every Wednesday, 8:30 a.m. YouTube, Facebook, now TikTok a little bit, just talking about how to build better. And we need to also realize we are not God. They will eventually expect and look at you to always say, we have to give God room to work. Yes, that's one of the biggest issues. I've been praying over some people, here lately. She said this word was for me. I've been praying and I'm like, and I had to realize this is why I could talk about it, like that I'm not God. you know, and even taking on this pastoral role. There are a lot of pastors, I think, that get burnt out and they get exhausted because they want to be God to people. And I really realized that as a pastor and a leader, I'm not God. God is still God. He is still the ultimate, right? And I'm just here to be the mouthpiece and to assist in what God is doing, but I'm not God. And so I was telling them, that's such a good point. Today I was telling them, even in preaching a couple weeks ago, I was telling them that there are often times that I want to step in and help. Here's why. Because here's the thing. I'm a pastor, I'm a leader, right? But I'm also like a coach, I'm an executor, and I'm a builder. And so, because I'm a builder, there isn't much that I cannot build. I'm gonna be honest. If you come to me and you say, I got a business idea and there's something I need to do, I'm gonna be honest, 10 times out of 10, I can help you write the play. I do it all the time, right? And so, with being a builder, and having the ability to build pretty much anything, sometimes when people come to me with certain things, I can find the answer. And what I don't know, I got a bunch of people that I can go get the answer. But the one thing about being a leader sometimes and being a pastor is that I can have the answer, but not give you the answer because I'm not God. And there's certain things that God wants to reveal to you himself. And so sometimes the harder parts for me is knowing that I could possibly help you and God won't let me. It's not because we want you to fall, it's because you got to learn the lesson. I remember a pastor one time, and there was a situation that transpired, and he was like, "Man, like I seen it coming." I said, "Well, why didn't you tell me?" You know what I'm saying? Like, if you seen it, why didn't you say something? He said, "I had to let God be God." So even in all of this, right? Just like as a parent, you don't always step in because there's certain things you lessons that your child needs to learn. And so even in this predicament, I'm not God and you're not God. And oftentimes we are playing God in people's lives and not realizing that you're not God. Sometimes you gotta let people go through their go through. You gotta, the thing about a baby learning how to walk is eventually they stop falling. Eventually they get their balance. And so in as we're navigating through this space called what are you avoiding, and I'm talking to you about letting people go and letting things go, sometimes in the letting the go helps them to grow up. Some of you have been afraid to tell people no because you're like, oh my God, well, what is going to happen to them? But sometimes what happens is they build a level of resilience. Sometimes they become resourceful. Sometimes they stop being lazy. They stop being procrastinators because they actually pursue the thing that they need to pursue. So we're not God. I'm not God. You're not God. And some of you are exhausted because you're still trying to play God. You got to let people be and intervene as God leads. There's some people that say, man, I'm just giving, 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 and I don't have nothing for myself. Well, giving, giving, giving until you have nothing to yourself was never the plan of God. God never wanted us to be empty. God never wanted us to empty ourselves on people. Now, does he want us to empty ourselves before him? Yes. But giving all our resources away in the name of God? No. Mm-mm. I'll never teach that. I'm sorry. I will never teach us living our lives on empty for the sake of everybody being filled. I'm telling you, that's not the will of God. It's his will that we're filled, that we have more than enough. I always go back to that scripture because he wants us to lend and not borrow. Come on, head and not the tail. And so if those are the things that he desires for my life, then why do I think that I have to live my life on empty to prove that God works and loves through me? Some of us, you know, We allow people, and I'm getting ready to go because I got to get out of here. A lot of times we allow people to manipulate us. This is the last thing I want to talk about. We allow people to manipulate us into doing certain things because their response is, aren't you supposed to be a Christian? And don't you love God? Yeah. Some of y'all hop right in here right on time because this is where you're at right now. Mm. We allow people to manipulate us into doing what they want us to do, and they label it as, aren't you supposed to be a Christian? Don't you love God? This is my favorite. What would Jesus do? I'm not him. I represent him. But what it goes back to when I told you guys that we're not God. I don't have unlimited resources. I don't have unlimited time. I have enough of what God has given me. And what I can't continue to do is waste my oil and waste my time on things that God never intended for me to be able to navigate. See, the thing about it is that when God wants you to do something, you will have what you need to be able to do it. This is why you got to take a step back and be able to discern and use wisdom. And in that, this is where if you're struggling with what is God saying, I can't hear you, do I need help? This is where accountability comes in, right? This is why we have pastors. I don't tell you what to do. That's not my job, right? I'm here to help guide you. I was talking to somebody the other day and they were asking me questions, right? And as they began to ask me questions about certain things and they were talking it through, they got their answer. What happens is we do a lot of self-talk, and a lot of self-talk is what keeps us from getting the answers that we need because we keep talking to ourselves. But the thing about accountability gives us someone, like, think about it in therapy, right? A therapist doesn't tell you what to do. They help you to talk through it. A lot of times you get the answer that you need just by talking about it in a safe space. But don't allow people to manipulate you. I remember that one time someone was like, God is the God of da 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 da. So, okay. Yes, God is the God of reconciliation. But he's also the God of wisdom. He's also the God of love. He's also the kind God. And my God would not want me to be mistreated any old kind of way. So the fact that you're coming to me about reconciliation, right? Yes, he wants us to reconcile. But there's some things that I don't need to reconcile. I don't have to hate you. I don't have to be bitter. I don't have to not like you. However, I don't have to connect with you because you're toxic and you're crazy. But people will use the word. So don't be afraid to set boundaries. Don't be afraid to say no. Don't be afraid to walk away. Stop avoiding the conversation that you need to have. Sometimes we pit a pat around things that we need to cut off and let go. I've been there, right? Listen, partially there right now, right? You're avoiding cutting it off because what does that feel like? What does that look like? What if I really finally let that person go? But you cannot be in a healthy relationship if you still keep allowing yourself to be attached to a toxic one. I don't know why I went here, but I'm here. So the life that you want to live is on the other side of what you've been avoiding. You want some of you are like, Lord, I just want peace. I just want to live a peaceful life. Well, you've been avoiding letting these people go. Some of y'all afraid to let y'all little sneaky links go, right? Tell the truth. Because what does that really look like? What if I'm gonna meet somebody else, right? Because we're so quick to think about what we have to give up and then what's gonna fill that void, what's gonna fill that spot. What if I let them go? What is that gonna be like for me? I love my mom. I love my dad. And I'm not saying, hear me, and listen, don't go and be like, oh yeah, she don't care about. No, I care about family. I love my family. But we cannot give and do what we don't have. You know what I'm saying? It's the thing called boundaries. And boundaries, that's it. And they said boundaries, but not avoidance. It's okay to say no. It's okay to say not right now. It's okay to say I don't have it. It's okay to say I'm not available. That don't mean we don't love people. That means I got to protect my space. I got to protect my peace. I got to protect my time. I got to protect my money. So, what is the thing that you are avoiding so that we can build better? And we will build better. And for those of you that have been struggling in your build, don't get discouraged. Right now, this moment is not the end of your story. If you slipped up, if you messed up, if you haven't been saying yes, if you've been avoiding the thing, the great thing about life in minute, you have minutes, seconds, hours. You don't have to wait till tomorrow. You can do it today. You can send that text today. You can send that email today. It's only 9:22 in the morning. You can complete that FAFSA. You can do the research. You can pull your bank statements. Everything is at our this is why it's no excuse. You got everything right here. All of it. Whatever you need to do, you can find it right here. That quick. Some of y'all got the banking app on your phone and you still don't look at your finances. Right? You can look at your statements right from your phone and you still don't do it. Some of you got planners and calendars right here. You can send emails, texts, everything from your phone, and we still don't do it. But we scroll, post content, post reels all day. Some of y'all on TikTok all day long, avoiding the thing that you really need to do. It's great looking at other people's life. But what about your own life? Come on. I gotta go. It's amazing scrolling and seeing and saving thousands of videos about things that you think that you're gonna do. Here's the other part. That's avoidance too. Because all those videos can actually help you. As I said, we don't have a knowledge problem. We got an avoidance problem. Because TikTok teaches you pretty much anything that you need to know. You can save the same video 5 times because you know you need to reorganize your house. Why you ain't done it yet? Some of us, because we're afraid to tell other people no, so we spend more time helping other people than we do our own self. Oh, it gave you the play about starting a business. Oh, this how you create a shirt. This how you do X, Y, and Z. All right, cool. Still ain't did it yet. Avoidance. So I gotta get out of here. I gotta go to work. But the question today is, what are you avoiding? What is the thing that you're gonna do that's gonna lead you to the thing that you need to be doing so that we can build better and we can be productive? All right. I love y'all so much. I pray you have an amazing day. I'll see y'all back here Wednesday at 8:30 a.m. for the Build Better series. You can follow me on Instagram. I am Takara Nicole. Facebook at Takara Nicole. TikTok, I'm Takara Nicole.